It's funny you bring up the Ultimate Fighter. That's the first time you actually fought Pantoja.
That fight was 9 years ago, so a lot's happened since then.
Crazy. I'm like, am I that old?
We had to stand in a circle and you were in front of us. They were like, can we get DJ a box? We want him on everyone's eye level.
Yeah. Hey, why you got tell people that, huh? Would you want your kids to fight?
I'd want them to play like a sport you can actually make money in, like go for tennis or something, bro.
I know you do that.
It's called a Pūkana.
Tahiro wa torifa Pūkana.
Oh, it's 15-time world champion Demetrious Johnson. You're listening to the Māori Cast.
What's going on, guys? This episode of the Mighty Cast is sponsored by Prize Picks. Now, Prize Picks is a daily fantasy sports game we can play directly from your phone. It's very simple. All you gotta do is grab that phone of yours, go to the App Store, and when you do that, make sure you download Prize Picks and use my promo code MightyCast. Cool promotion going on right now. All you gotta do is play $5 in your lineup, whether it's mixed martial arts, the NBA is gone, but the NFL is right around the corner. No matter what happens in those picks and those events, you're gonna win $50 to new signups. And guys, UFC 317, UFC's biggest card of the year, International Fight Week, is on the list. So make sure you guys get your picks in at the right place, which is Prize Picks. And when you make these picks, I'm gonna be making my picks. I don't know who's gonna be, more or less with Charles Oliveira, Topuria, or Kai France versus Pantoja. I know when I make my picks, it's going to make the fights even more enjoyable to watch because I got skin in the game. So get your picks in at the right place, which is Prize Picks. Now, shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this episode of the Mighty Cast. Now, let us enjoy this chat with Don't Blink Kai France. Enjoy. All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1. What's going on, boys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mighty Cast, and we are here with the man that goes by Don't Blink Kai France. Kai, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and your training camp. How you doing today?
Nah, pleasure, bro. Pleasure's mine. Honored to be in your presence, bro. Greatness, and yeah, life's good. Life's flowing, thriving, and yeah, you know what it's all about, juggling or everything that comes with a world title and responsibilities, being a father, husband. Told my wife, can you get the kids out of the house? Give me an hour with DJ. And I think she took them over to the grandparents. So it's a quiet house, which is pretty rare. Usually I've got one of my boys trying to climb out the window. The other one's trying to, put on his favorite show. But yeah, I love that I have that to go home to every day.
What are your boys watching right now? Is it it's not G.I. Joe's. What are they watching over in New Zealand as children? What's the show?
Well, I'm trying to me and my wife are trying to be more educational. So like we put on Māori shows that only speak Te Reo Māori. And that's just, we wanting them to know where they come from and speak the native language of Aotearoa New Zealand, which is Te Reo Māori. So you won't know the shows, but one of their shows is Takaroa Tribe, Mahi Pai. They just shows about like characters that are only speaking Te Reo, and yeah, it's pretty cool how they understand it, and yeah, just getting it more immersed in our house. Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to jump right into it. Let's talk about your culture. So I'm assuming you speak a different language.
I don't speak fluent Te Reo. My wife does, and my boys, well, they're in a kohanga, which is they're learning. But I didn't grow up, speaking Te Reo. A lot of things are the reasons why that, but main thing is, now I'm learning and relearning and I guess. Yeah, reconnecting with my culture, and it's a big part of who I am and the path that I'm on, and walking out with my kids. So yeah, it's cool because it's never ending. It's like martial arts. The more you know, the least you know, and it's just a way of seeing the world. So it's a unique way of seeing things. It's not for, I guess, hierarchy, power, ego, status. It's how can I leave the earth better than I found it, better than I came in it, and being of service to your village, to your community, to your whānau being family, and just, that's the priority. And then everything around that is just trying to be better than yesterday and lead by example. And, the way I understand the world now was going back on how my ancestors in Tupuna would have navigated their challenges and their obstacles, hundreds of years ago. And that's the blueprint I go back on to allow me to go forward, and, protocols that they would have done, going into war, going into fighting. I kind of use that protocols in the modern day for what I do for my mahi, for my work, fighting in the UFC. So, I heard what you said before. I'd love to see a haka. It's like, for those that don't know, here's a bit of education. So a haka is a traditional war dance that our tupuna would have done before they would have fought for land, fought for mana, which is, something that we hold the highest, which is, it's a presence. It's a way of walking into a room and you don't have to say anything. People just know, okay, this man demands something like yourself. You demand mana when you walk into a room because of who you are and your what you've done in your career and what you've done in your life. You don't have to say anything. You just have that. And it's something that you can't buy. And our tupuna would have done a haka, traditional war dance, just to kind of set the tone. It's a sign of respect. And it channels, I guess, the energy that you need to be able to go and do it in the, on the battlefield or, in the trenches, fighting for your life. And, I channel that when I go out into the ring, fighting and going inwards and, bringing in my best. So just going back on how, my ancestors would have done things is, powerful, and it's a great tool to do it because it's all been done before me, and it allows me to kind of make sense of everything, and it's my superpower.
I love it because I feel like me and Michael, we talk all the time when it comes to mixed martial arts, sports, WWE, whatever it is. And what gets me excited is the stories, right? And then I was, doing a little research and I saw you talked about your culture and the mana. And then, I know you do the face.
It's called a Pūkana. Yeah.
I'm like, man, I want to see more of this because I want to buy more into the story and the culture. My best friend, I've never seen him do the haka. Granted, he's 37 years old. He's still he played football, but he's very, very tied to his culture. And his sons they play football. And I'm like, man, are you going to teach your kids the haka to show him? He goes, I don't know, man. It's something that I haven't really, pushed onto them. And you got your children, watching, the old cartoons to be closer to their culture. Are you going to teach them the haka?
Yeah, they already know. Like that's what they learn.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they learn it at their kohanga, their school that they go to. This is a normal day for them. Like once my little one, he was going to my wife's course last year, which was a full immersion course for the whole year. So you could only speak te reo. If you didn't know anything, you just didn't speak. So I feel like that's the best way to learn a language because it forces you to forces you to speak. Otherwise, you're just going to default back to English. So my wife is leading from the front, and she took my son every day, my youngest, every day to school with her, and he knows te reo more, firstly before English. Everything he says is all in te reo. So and anytime a haka's playing or he hears it, he starts stomping his feet and he gets
he'll love that. He's like,
he's ready, bro. Like on just switch, he just goes straight into it's just in him. That's what's so beautiful about it. He's whatever environment he's in, he's like a sponge. So I love that my kids are gonna know where they come from, to know where they're going and where they're heading. So it's cool because it makes us unique, and that's what is a big priority where I'm at in my life. Fighting in the UFC, I want to bring culture with me to know that when I make that walkout, I'm representing us, and on the world stage, massive platform. I want to be be a inspiration for all so far away from home when I'll be fighting in Vegas or fighting on the world stage. Just lets everyone know the world's never too big, and whatever dream or passion that you have, you go after it, and don't sacrifice who you are to get to where you want to be. You bring it with you. That's what's can empower you and help you rather than hurt you. So it's definitely exciting, but it's I'm in a great place, physically, mentally, spiritually, all these things that fills my cup and just prioritizes what's important to me.
What's up, guys? This episode of the Mighty Cast is sponsored by HEXCLAD. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are my favorite pots and pans that I use every single day. The wife literally just cooked some delicious Mexican corn on this bad boy. Easy cleanup. Take a look at the B-roll. You see the wife, she drops in the corn into the HEXCLAD, and then you see her mixing it around at a very nice low temperature. That way you get a fresh cooked corn. It's not burnt because the HEXCLAD, it allows the food to cook evenly. And then as you can see, wife pours the cheese in it. She pours the cheese out, and look how none of the cheese is even sticking to the HEXCLAD. Easy cleanup, because we love an easy cleanup pan. Saves you more time when you try to get dishes done. Dries easily, and it is absolutely one of my favorite. It is the only cookware that we use in the household at the Mighty House. So if you guys want to upgrade your cookware, all you gotta do is go to hexclad.com/mighty, and that's gonna help you save 10% on your complete order. Shout out to HEXCLAD for sponsoring this episode of the Mighty Cast. Now let us get back to our guest. I love that. Okay, look, I want to take it back to the beginning, because I had one of your training partners, Dan Hooker, on Mighty Cast, and I want to see if your guys' upbringing was totally different. When did you first get into mixed martial arts? Obviously, being in New Zealand, I remember he told me that it's more about kickboxing over there, right? Not really mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Grant, I believe he is older than you. So what was your first introduction into martial arts?
Yeah, so me and Dan both started together at Strikeforce, which was a gym out in West Auckland. So it's pretty rough out there, or that's just the mentality out there. It's you just keen for a scrap, keen to throw down. So yeah, we started training together. I first started martial arts when I was 10. I walked into a jiu-jitsu gym, same gym, Strikeforce, and I went to the kids class, and I just went there for the games. That was fun to me, playing this game called Bull Rush. So it's like a tackling game. You got to get to the other end without getting tackled, and you got to try to be the last one in it. So it's like a schoolyard game. And then just got more into it. I guess, you would know, being our size, it's growing up, you're seen as a target. So if you don't know how to fight, you kind of you're forced to. And martial arts was a tool for me to kind of navigate being a boy and being the smallest in my class. And it was like a way to turn something negative into something positive, where I didn't want to feel so vulnerable and so helpless that my parents got me into martial arts to get more confidence, and then I just stuck at it. So in high school, that's when I first met Dan. He went to the same high school as me. He was a few years older than me. And we just started training together, and then had my first pro fight when I was about 17. So I jumped straight in the deep end. That my coaches at the time, they were like, "Well, you're going to find out if you're about this, if you want this or not." And very thankful that they did, because I knew at a young age that this is what I wanted to do. I wasn't like, back then, 2010, I made my pro debut. There wasn't, especially in the New Zealand combat scene, there wasn't many guys around my weight class. So I just had to take the fights, otherwise I'll just be training for nothing. And I just wanted to test myself, and just the challenge to get in the ring. That's what I loved about it. The mental, hurdles that you have to overcome, the self-doubt, there's so many things that you have to block out, the head noise, and, execute your training in your fight. And I ended up winning head kick knockout my first fight, pro fight. And then the next day I had to go back to school, finish my exams.
Oh shit!
I would. my head wasn't in the books. I just wanted to scrap. And then, ended up moving to Thailand after high school. Or I dropped out of uni. I didn't want to do it. I told my parents that this isn't for me. And pretty unique because all my brothers has gone to university. My dad's a lawyer. My brother's a lawyer.
Wow.
My other brother's a journalist. So it was definitely against, I guess, the norm in my family, but they knew that I was passionate about this. So just 100% supportive of me, and just packed up my bags and booked a one-way ticket to Thailand. First time being overseas by myself, didn't know anyone, and just chased it. So I knew this was for me.
That is fucking crazy. Now I want to ask one question. You said at the beginning of your journey. Now, you say you went to do jujitsu, or was it gym? So your first initial introduction into martial arts was jujitsu.
Yeah, 100% jiu-jitsu. So it's something that we could relate to, being in New Zealand. Rugby is, pretty much tackling someone. So I was used to like that kind of technique, just tackle someone to the ground and then try hold them to the ground. We weren't really doing submissions back then. Obviously, we're 10 years old. So it was more just trying to get mount. That was the goal for like 3 or 5 seconds, or back take. So get your hooks in, seat belt. If you can hold it for 5 seconds, you'd win the match. So we weren't really learning submissions in, just more positional stuff. And bread and butter, that is, kind of like what you need for jiu-jitsu, how to break fall, how to get up, attack, stand up, how to scramble, get back to your feet, how to get on top and hold position. So definitely set me up for what I wanted to do, which was punch someone on the ground. That's something that comes second nature to us down here. Is whatever the most violent thing you can do in a fight, we're gonna try to do it. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was gonna say, because you look at your resume, you tend to go about fights by knocking people out, right? I can't remember the last time I saw you go out there, blast a double leg, and looking to take somebody's back and choke him out. I'm not saying you can't do it, but typically you end up knocking everybody out. Like when you knocked out Cody Garbrandt when he dropped down to 125. Yeah. Or you knock out Steve Ercik, you have some highlight reels at the 125-pound division, which is a division that a lot of athletes, even myself, we don't possess that type of power. So when you said the first thing you did was jiu-jitsu, I was like, hold up 1 second. Was it gi jiu-jitsu? And I want a little more confirmation on that, because I was like, I feel like your background is kickboxing or Muay Thai stand-up, but you went to Thailand right after you got out of high school.
Yeah. So I'm still a blue belt. I don't train much in the gi. I haven't trained in the gi. I probably trained in the gi 5 times in my life. So when I was doing the kids class, it was no gi. And then, I wrestled. I was in the New Zealand wrestling team. But I didn't go to the Commonwealth Games. I ended up just passing it over and said, no, I'm trying to make it an MMA. And that's when I was in Thailand at the time. So I said, I'm just going to stick to fighting MMA. I wasn't doing wrestling to get better or to like pursue a career in wrestling. I just did it for the mat time to get just thrown in everything. I think that was my upbringing in fighting, is I did everything. I did boxing, I did kickboxing, I did jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and just really got into just exposure to everything. I've seen it all. And then being in Thailand, I went over there chasing a scholarship. So Tiger Muay Thai, based in Phuket, Thailand, they were doing scholarships. First of their kind was 2013. And then, I ended up getting the scholarship, 1 out of 5 guys that they chose, youngest by like 10 years. And then, just stayed there for about 4 years. So I didn't stay there like for 4 years straight. I would come back home for like a month, every year, just to kind of see family and stuff. But after 4 years, I didn't want to come home without something, or like move back home without something. And then that's when I got picked up for the Ultimate Fighter season 24, where I actually first met you. We had to stand in a circle and you were in front of us, and they were like, can we get DJ a box? We want him on everyone's eye level.
Yeah. Hey, why you gotta fucking tell people that, huh? Make me look like I'm 6'2". Come on now. Why you gotta cut me down like that, Kai?
No, like everyone was just like quiet, because he was like, shit, like here's greatness in front of us, and like he's where we want to be, with the belt around him. And yeah, it was just cool to be a part of history, being on the Ultimate Fighter, and seeing the guys that have come through that show. And now, we're pretty much the face of the flyweight division. But, this is a legacy that you've left behind, putting it on for the 125ers, gaining respect for our weight class. So, just thankful that you were, the pioneer of our division, and you paved the way for all of us.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's funny you bring up the Ultimate Fighter, because I remember they were going out grabbing all the best athletes around like the regional circuits around the world. You had Zulu, who was from Africa, I believe. He was a champion. You were a champion from New Zealand. You had Pantoja was there. Tim Elliott, he was on like the American scene. And now that I sit back, I feel like that was probably the best cast of the Ultimate Fighter, because all you guys were champions in your own regions, right? I mean, you look at the Ultimate Fighter now, I don't even know if any of those guys are a champion in their own aspects, right? So I felt like that was like a legitimate Ultimate Fighter where it's like, you guys were all fucking good. All you guys were good. And it was a breath of fresh air for me to get the opportunity to be part of the Ultimate Fighter when I was a coach, and you had Hiroshi Hudo and you had Joseph Benavides, who are also two pioneers of the flyweight division. Now, that's the first time you actually fought Pantoja. You guys actually fought in a house.
Yeah.
I believe it was the first fight, or what fight was that? First or second fight?
Second fight, yeah, the quarterfinals.
Second fight. Yeah. Quarterfinals. Talk to me about that fight, because that fight was back and forth. Yeah. It was a tough fight. You were staying on the feet, sprawling and brawling, old school Chuck Liddell style. Yeah. Obviously we know Pantoja's, in my opinion, his greatest strength is the grappling. But talk to me about that first encounter you guys fought inside the House of Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, that was hard, making weight like every week for 7 weeks, flyweight. And, that I couldn't showcase my whole skill, because I was just bro science back then. I just didn't eat. I was malnourished, like... You're not going to perform at your best when every week you're killing yourself just to make 125. And I remember being in the sauna with, I think it was Calvin Gaslam. He was one of the guest coaches with Cejudo. And he was in the sauna with me, making weight for that Pantoja fight. And I just remember, like, I'm not missing weight. Like, if I miss weight, then my opportunity's gone. So there was just no, like... It was just, I didn't have enough resources to kind of, knowing what I know now for weight cutting and how to prepare for, for a UFC fight. But for that fight, not taking anything away from Pantoja, he definitely did what he needed to win. It was a close fight though, like on the ground, very even. I keep getting back to my feet on the stand up, pretty even as well. A lot of scrambles, a few exchanges. And he was just tough. Like, he just kept coming forward, and that's what won him the fight, ring control. And I just had nothing in the tank on the second round. I just felt that like burning dry air in Vegas, that if you're not used to it, it's hard, because it's a new it's just a new environment that you're not used to. And my body was kind of just in shock. That fight was 9 years ago, so it's a lot's happened since then.
It's fucking crazy. When you say, like, sometimes I'm hearing you tell your story, I'm like, fuck, am I that old? You're making me sound like a fucking old guy.
But you look like you're getting younger. You got some great genetics, bro. How old are you now?
Thanks, man. I'm 38. I'll be 39 in 2 months.
Well, you don't look 38.
Thanks, man. Okay, get back to your story. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here listening. I'm engaged in the conversation. Like, I'm trying to let you speak, but I'm like, fuck, I want to get in. Continue, my friend.
Just jump in whenever you want. Yeah, so that fight was close. Pantoja did what he needed to. I thought it would have gone to a third round. It was, closer than what people would expect, but it was an exhibition fight, so it's not on it's not on our record. So we have fought each other, but it's not an official fight. I definitely had momentum coming into that fight, because my first fight, I was the only one to get a knockout on the Ultimate Fighter. I fought a guy, Terrence Mitchell. He was quite tall for a flyweight. I think it was like 5'10" or 5'11", from Alaska. Yep. And then, ended up knocking him out in the first round, and then getting Dana White on his feet, saying, shit, this is how you start the show. And having a knockout on the flyweight division where it doesn't really happen. So that was kind of my introduction into the company and to the I guess to the new fan base to know who I am and like training in Thailand for 4 years prior to this show, it really prepared me for it because you don't have your coaches, you don't have your teammates, you just got to go in there and back yourself and go in there with your skill set. So in Thailand, I was doing the same thing. I was cornering and coaching myself at some points of my of that time. I was fighting pretty much every week. I was fighting kickboxing or Muay Thai or MMA. I was traveling around every month in a new country fighting. So in Asia, I was fighting in China, Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, Malaysia. Like I was in it, and I wasn't winning every fight, but I was gaining experience, and that's what was my kind of that's my reasoning for being in Thailand, because everyone in Asia is pretty small, so I was going to get a lot of fights, and I just got good fighting so actively and so frequently. If I didn't win, I'd be like, okay, I got to do this differently my next fight in next month. And I figured it out on the job. I wasn't just, trying to pad my record and trying to build my way up that way. I was just like, well, I'll figure this out, and I'm gaining experience through these fights. And then eventually I got on a 5-fight win streak, all by first round knockout. And that's when I got picked up for the Ultimate Fighter. So I just won a bout in Perth, Australia. So that was kind of my ticket to be on the Ultimate Fighter. And then, being on the Ultimate Fighter, I didn't get a contract after the show, even though I didn't win the show. I didn't get picked up. I ended up going to Japan and fighting in Ryzen. So I fought a guy, a tough Japanese kid. It was a good learning curve, a good experience for me. I learned how to not check a calf kick that fight. And from then onwards, I know shit, like even one, if it lands the right way, it's going to be a bad night for you in the office.
What is going on, guys? This episode of the Mighty Cast is sponsored by True Classic. The reason why I love wearing these bad boys is because it is tailor fit. It is super, super soft, and it's good around the neck. And this is about a medium 5'3" athletic build. So this is a nice flowing fit t-shirt to my body. And if you guys want to upgrade your wardrobe for the summertime or get yourself ready for the winter time, all you gotta do is go to trueclassic.com/mighty, and that's gonna help you save on your complete order. And the cool thing about True Classic, it's not always about the t-shirts. They have boxer briefs, denim jeans, V-necks, Pima shirts. They have a whole lineup of amazing quality t-shirts that come tailor fit right out of the box. I mean, look at this, boys. The bicep looking straight, neck's looking good. I got the chain, I got the rollie. I'm ready to step out, whether I'm doing a nice dinner or I'm doing a business casual meeting. I can wear a True Classic. So go to trueclassic.com/mighty to upgrade your wardrobe and get yourself looking fresh like your boy and everybody else who's wearing a True Classic. Shout out to True Classic for sponsoring this episode of the Mighty Cast. Now let us get back to our guest. Yeah, them calf kicks, I fucking hate them calf kicks. Let me just go on record. I hate them motherfucking kicks. Everybody stop fucking cheating. Kick that motherfucking thigh so I can check it. And it's funny you mention that because when I fight Adriano the first time, he kicked me in the calf. And I feel like I'm pretty much in tune when I'm fighting. I'm doing my thing and I'm like, okay. But when somebody kicks me in the calf, it fucking pisses me off. It literally makes me so emotional. Yeah. I'm like, all right, motherfucker, kick me again. So,
you want to play rough? Okay.
Yeah, you want to play? Yeah, it's like, so you want to play fucking rough? All right, it's a fucking party now. Like I check and it's like, it's a party. Now we're both fucking hurt. So you didn't get picked up from the UFC. You went to Ryzen.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought, was Ryzen around or was it Dream?
No, it was Ryzen back then. It was pretty cool.
Ryzen's been around.
Yeah, it was on the New Year's Eve show. I think Crow Cop was the main event with King Mo, I think. And I think Yuri was the co-main. So yeah, it was a cool show to be a part of, big bucket list fighting in Japan on the new Pride pretty much. But I knew I needed to do something different after that fight. And that's when I linked up with my coach, Eugene, and I was already training with him kind of when he would come to Thailand on his way to China with Izzy and Brad. he would stop in Thailand, and then we would just gel, and I'd learn so much just in the few weeks he was there. And I remember saying, like, fuck, I need to be around this, and I need to go back home and be around that knowledge, because in Thailand, I was getting good, but I'd got to a point in my career where I wasn't getting pushed enough, and I wasn't being, held accountable, and I didn't have a coach that was telling me what I needed to hear. I was kind of, taking reign of my own training camps, where you can't push yourself if you're doing that. So 4 years, I knew, okay, I need to go home where I'm going to get the best out of me. And Eugene, no bullshit, just said, if you want to get back into the UFC, you just need to turn up the training, and the rest will take care of itself. So I just really trusted in him, trusted in the process. And was it 2 years later, I ended up making my UFC debut. So I actually needed to get on a 4 or 5 fight win streak after that Japan fight. They said, no, you need to build your record up again. And then we were just taking fights every few months. Some in Australia, some in China. And then I was training out of Auckland. So I was back home with my family, back at my dad's. And yeah, training out of CKB in Auckland. And then 2018, Izzy surprised me. Izzy, I remember he just fought in the UFC. I think twice. He just had 2 fights in the UFC, and it wasn't like unfamiliar, like doing like a thank you for everyone for helping out in his camps. And then at training one night, there was a TV in front of, on the mats. And then, Izzy's like, we're just going to put a video to say thank you to everyone. And then Dana White popped up, and then he said my name. And then he said, Kai, you're finally in the UFC. Wow. So it was a cool moment, because, Izzy helped Huge and helped me get that deal across the table. Because I remember him meeting Dana, and then Izzy was saying, we need to get Kai in the UFC. And he said, we'll get him on the Contenders or something like that. And he said, no, he's already done the Ultimate Fighter. He's ready. And he said, okay, we'll pick him up. So that's what's always been one of the big things about our gym at CKB, is putting down the ladder for the next guy, helping them get their opportunity. And then from there, that's all we need. Just an opportunity, and we'll do the rest, and look what I've done in my career just from that moment. So been in the UFC, 6 years now, a part of the kind of staple of the top 5. And big moment for me coming up next week.
Wow. Well, you just gave me a full circle story, because, I was kind of curious, like, okay, you left home, you stay in Thailand, you do that for 4 years, you're taking all these fights everywhere, and you're basically coaching yourself. And then I'm like, okay, so where does he get hooked up with Izzy and Eugene? And then that's where it does, when you meet up with them. When you're an Ultimate Fighter, how much weight were you cutting? Because a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't watch the Ultimate Fighter now like they did back in the day. Like the Ultimate Fighter was the shit that you watch, right? Like every week there's a new episode. How much weight did you cut when you're in the house? Like, how big do you get? What's your weight cut?
I don't know it in pounds, but I know it in kgs. So I was walking around probably 69 kgs. 69.
God damn, you bigger than me.
Yeah, that was back then. So I was young and just stupid. Like, I would eat whatever I want, and then I'll just do this like massive weight cut.
152. What do you walk around now in kgs?
No, I walk around about like 64 now.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're more in shape now. Okay. I was like, goddamn, 152?
Well, I'm 32
I was like,
now, bro. I can't keep doing those massive weight cuts. I'm too old.
Okay. So, wow. So that's so huge discrepancy. So chat, if you or fans, if you don't know, 69 kilograms is 152 pounds, and then 64 kilograms is 141 pounds. So that's a huge drastic. That's like you're walking around 10 pounds lighter than you were when you're an Ultimate Fighter house. So that's why those weight cuts were fucking killing you.
Yeah,
when you were doing it every single fucking week. Oh my God.
Yeah, I wasn't cutting from exactly that weight, but I was cutting pretty high, like high 60s, and just not eating. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going off, like, if I feel like shit, I'm on the right path to making weight. And then just being that young, bro, like early 20s, you're like, I'll bounce back from this. Like, and then it was just like that emotional kind of relationship you have with food. It was pretty bad, just like binge eating. And now I know, like, it's just learning curve being a professional athlete all year round. It's just only going to help yourself. And, you don't want to be doing these fat camps before you actually start a camp, or while you're in a camp. You want to actually like have some sort of base. So when you're in a 10, 12 week camp, you can take your training to the next level, and, injury management, energy output, performance, so many things that you need to do at the highest level. But back then I was just like, well, we'll find out, and we'll figure this thing out as we go. But yeah, it wasn't ideal.
Gotcha. When you came back home after the Ultimate Fighter, you went to Ryzen, you came back home, you stayed home a little bit. What did your family think about it, right? Like, I want to know the dynamic with your father. He was a lawyer. You said your brother was a lawyer. They're all successful. And then here you come on back home after, some would look at it as failure. Your dad's like, you see, son, you should have took your ass to university and got in the family business as a lawyer. What was that like? Like, did they welcome you back home? Did you feel defeated? Because a lot of people, when they come into mixed martial arts, even today's age, they want to be a professional fighter. They want to be in the UFC. They want to be in one championship, PFL, whatever it may be. Yeah. And they don't have success, and they go back home and they stop. But for you, you kept on going. What was the dynamic like when you came home? You got your brother, he's all got a suit and tie. He was like, I'm about to go put this motherfucker behind jail. What was your mindset?
Well, I was just like, well, fuck, what else am I going to do? I'm not good at anything else. So it was like, well, shit, I have to figure this out, because I've already invested too much time into this. Like, I can't quit now. I'm too far in. Like, I made a promise to myself, like, I got myself into this, and I'll get myself out. So my parents and my family have always been supportive. I'm not going to say, like, they didn't tell me, like, hey, we can't keep funding this fantasy that you're living. Like, go get a real job and go back to school. I was getting those all the time, but I was just like, nah, like, this is what I want to do. Like, I'm passionate about this. I know this is what I had to fight for this dream, and it all paid off, and when I did make my debut and all my family flew over to Australia to come watch me, they all knew, like, shit, he really committed to this. And something that I didn't do growing up, I always flaked out of things, or like never finished things, whatever I started. And that was, it was just something that I knew that I needed to finish this, and I will see it through. So yeah.
What gave you the idea? Like, I'm sitting here listening. I'm like, usually people have like a pathway to go fight, right? Like, I mean, what made you want to fight? Essentially, like, they took you to jiu-jitsu, and from that you just fell in love with it, and then you just like, because I feel like you said after high school you knocked somebody out, but then you was like, fuck it, I'm out. I'm going to Thailand, and you go by yourself. Like, what stemmed that?
Well, I played sport all my life. Like, soccer was my main thing. I wanted to be in our New Zealand soccer team. It's called the All Whites. It was the team that I wanted to be a part of. But I knew, like, maybe 15 that I wasn't going to crack it, because you need to be in those development teams like early on, and you need to be like developed and pretty much put in those teams to build your way up. And I wasn't getting picked up. I was a good player, but I wasn't like the next best player. I was kind of over team sports. And that's why I gravitated towards martial arts, because it's all on you. I didn't want to have a team to rely on. I just wanted to rely on myself, and that's where I got the ultimate fulfillment. Getting in the ring, it wasn't just like getting in the ring; it was a journey to get there, and the training that you have to do, and I just knew, like, that's what I wanted to do. So yeah.
Now, did you watch something? Did you see like the Ultimate Fighter, or was it like? Because what I'm getting at is, like, for me, I saw the Ultimate Fighter, and that's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym and start hitting the fucking bag. But from you, it seems like, your dad's a lawyer, your brother's a lawyer. I'm not sure what your mother does. So nobody in your family does any martial arts.
No.
And all of a sudden you just pack your bags like, fuck it, boys. I'm out. I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to get me, some hand jobs and all that shit over there. I'm out. And so I'm like, where the fuck? Like, did you watch Ultimate Fighter?
No,
was
so
it from
our
wrestling?
coach back then when I first started jiu-jitsu, his name's Cody. He was one of the pioneers for mixed martial arts in New Zealand. And back then it was like no holds bar, like no gloves, like pride rules, like head stomps. So I didn't know it back then. I was like, why has this guy always got black eyes and like beaten up and taking our kids class? And then I didn't. It wasn't until like I watched one of his fights, and it's like he's in karate pants. He's like head stomping, and like it's brutal. But that's where our sport came from, especially in New Zealand, like the K1 days. So on K1 they had kickboxing as well as MMA fights as well. Back then, this was like early mid 2000s.
K1 Heroes is when I first got introduced to the K1 with mixed martial arts. K1 Heroes, Bibiano fought Kid Yamamoto on that one.
Yeah, so that was kind of my first exposure, and then started watching The Ultimate Fighter as well. And I guess being in New Zealand, kickboxing such a massive platform to be a part of. Before the UFC, kickboxing was our best thing to be a part of. And being part of City Kickboxing, we have a big lineage of where our gyms come from. So most of our gyms come from Balmoral Liga, which was, the guys that grew up in the K1. So a part of Balmoral Liga was, Ray Sefo, Mark Hunt, one of my coaches, Doug Viney. So all these guys have, won the K1 pre Max, which is the pinnacle of kickboxing back then. And then
I fucking miss K1.
Yeah, it was awesome. But then full circle, we developed an MMA program that can harness that kickboxing skill, but then developed into for MMA. So for being in the UFC. So you say like you have knockouts and stuff on your record. My coach knew that was going to be the fastest way and the most appealing way to build your brand. And if it was jiu-jitsu or wrestling, that's all we would be training. But people don't want to see that. They want to see people get knocked out. And that's what we harnessed our skills into, learning how to defend takedowns, scramble, but then let your hands go, and put pressure on guys and find those finishes. So I was getting finishes in Thailand, but I didn't really refine my skill set until I came back to City Kickboxing and trained with Eugene, and just were a lot more intentional on what I was doing and more I can be more patient and find that right shot. Well, I don't need to waste energy, trying to flurry and do all these things that won't necessarily get me the finish. I needed to be more precise, set things up better. And then when I do find the right time, it's more instinct for me now. I have all the tools to do it. Putting it all together, and that's where we're at now. So, I've had a few finishes in the UFC. At the start, I wasn't getting finishes, and people say, where does this nickname come from? Don't blink, because you don't really get knockouts. But when
they're all talking shit. They're like, what the fuck? Don't blink. I blocked though. What are you talking about?
I think it was Izzy's dad that brought it up. He's like, I blinked many times your last fight. Where's these knockouts? And I was like, come on, bro. Like, just let me find my feet first. I'm just learning on the job, and I'll get one. And then eventually when I got my first knockout, I think it was against that Rogerio Bontorin. I finished him in the first round, and then after that fight, I think I fought Cody Garbrandt, and then finished him in the first round, and then just started to put things together. So you got to be like, to get knockouts, it's not about having power.
It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
And
especially at flyweight,
it's
it's about speed. Like, power doesn't really translate at flyweight. You got to have the speed to be able to keep up with the pace, and then execute when you need to, because you're always going to be in a scramble or some sort of you're just constantly moving, so it's hard to hit a moving target.
Yeah. Well, I love how I felt the knockout you did against Cody Garbrandt put you on the map, because, you had Cody, he was a world champion at one time. at 135. He beat Dominic Cruz. He had his back and forth war with TJ, you know, that drama. And then, you know, everybody thinks the way to solve the problem is go down to a different division, right? TJ did it. He got whooped by Henry Cejudo. Cody did it and you whipped him. And I felt like that was the first time you were starting to set up your shot, because you hit him and then you're following up, and then you're we call it riding the horse in, and then you ride the horse in, you hit with the right hand, uppercut, and then you just knock him out. And it was like, holy shit, this guy just knocked out a former world champion. And that's where I felt like everybody was like, okay, don't blink. This guy has power in the flyweight division. I feel like it was you and Figueiredo. Like, you guys were knocking people out at that time frame in the division. I mean, even now when you look at the flyweight division, nobody's really not, I mean, you have Manel Kopp who's knocking people out, but other than that, you know, Pantoja submitting people, Brennan Moreno is kind of all over the place. So I feel like you have that power. And then you knocked out Steve Ercik. So I feel like you are one of the guys in that division. It's like, take his ass down. Don't stand with them. Don't blink, because you might knock you the fuck out.
Yeah, that's it. But I've got probably one of the best takedown defenses in the flyweight division. So I don't get taken down much. And that's just being, I guess, being able to stay on my feet, find my openings when I do need to scramble, explode when I need to. But then, like, we're city kickboxing, but we probably wrestle more than we kickbox. And that's just because we know that these guys are trying to get us down. Like, there's no secret. They don't want to stand with us. But it's not saying that they can't stand with us. It's just having that in your game. But yeah, I guess just finding, being patient, not forcing things, especially in that Cody fight. I knew he was going to come forward, and he's most dangerous when he is hurt. So I knew, like, okay, something's coming back. I just need to find that shot. And so, like, I was going to the chest a lot, because the body's always going to be there. The head's going to be moving a lot. He's going to be able to, like, he's got really good head movement. But if I stick him to the chest, it's going to kind of throw him off. And at least I know I have connection. So then eventually, I just found my range. And then from there, I just have, like, set combos that I know that it's like muscle memory for me. I can just throw it just as a switch, and then just landed that shot that I needed to. All the different angles, that jab, and then that uppercut that caught him. So when people talk about, like, oh, Cody doesn't have a chin, like, bro, he's durable. Like, you've seen it in his last few fights. He can take a punch. He's been fighting at bantamweight and he's not getting finished. It kind of takes away the credit of what I did in that fight when they just, he doesn't have a chin now going to flyweight. It just took his durability away. But it's like, well, what do you say about Steve then? Is he not durable? He just took Moreno to a 5-round fight. He took Pantoja to a 5-round.
Pantoja, Pantoja to a 5-round fight.
So, like, it's nothing to do with these guys that I'm fighting. It's the way that I'm hitting them. It's the accuracy and precision, and it's just timing. You know, when you have someone, when you set it up the right way, you catch them with those punches that they don't see coming. Those are the ones that are going to hurt. And then after you have them hurt, it's been able to be clinical to get them out. You know, you can showboat and try, like, do what Manel does, and he just looks at you. He doesn't really do anything. He's not really much of a threat, and if he is, he's got to make it to the fight, and usually he'll do something to fuck it up. That's just him. And people are looking forward to the press conference and him being there next week, but he's got this massive alibi on what happened in his fight and fight camp, and he's got all the photos to back it up. But bro, if this is happening all the time, 11 fights that it's been pulled out, I know it's not always your fault, but it's your energy. Your energy's off, and that's what's happening. That's what I can see. But going back on what we're talking about, just finding the right shot, just being clinical when you need to, and finding it.
Yeah, I think when you look at this fight, and I feel, I was at the gym today, I was working out, and I was like, I feel like flyweight's at a great it's a great time to be a fan of the flyweight division. Not that there were, everybody's all the flyweights are boring, but I feel like you have Brendan Royval, Brandon's about to take on, who's stepping up? You have Joshua Vaughn stepping up, and then you also have Pantoja, Vikai Asakura. It's a great time because, obviously, you got guys who are up and coming. You have Manel Kopp there. You have Muhammad Mokayev out there doing his own thing. So it's a great time to be part of the division. One of the things that when I was looking up, why were you as active? Like there's a point in time where you fought like once in 2000 and 2021, it probably could be due to COVID. Then 2022, you fought twice. 2023, you fought, like, I feel like there was a lot of inactivity. Were you injured or were you just trying to find fights or were you taking time off? Why was there such a big, usually you want to fight twice, sometimes 3 times a fucking year. Yeah. But I feel like for you, there was like some like choppiness of your activity.
Probably because I was a dad. And I had my hands full, bro. I didn't know what I'd got myself into. I wasn't sleeping. I was just overwhelmed. Me and my wife with our newborn, with our firstborn son, he was hard, and it was a lot. Like just a shock. You're not on your own schedule anymore. You're looking. You're responsible for this life, and through like post COVID and stuff, just finding like normality again of like what life is, and I wasn't ready to like get in a fight camp. I was like, bro, I'm in a fight camp right now. I'm fighting for my life.
I respect that. Yeah. I respect that because a lot of athletes don't talk about that, right? Like when I was looking at looking at Sherdog, and I was like, okay, he hasn't been active. Like, why has he been active? Was he injured? Was he not want to take fights? But I don't think people realize how hard it is to have children during a professional career, especially fighting, right? Because you're not making, if you're a basketball player or a football player, you're getting, fucking millions and millions of dollars. You hire a nanny as like, baby, you go to the gym, the nanny go take care of, I'm gonna go work out. In mixed martial arts, the last fucking pay, homeboy made $14,000 a show and $14 to win, and he fucking lost. He only got $14,000. I don't pay for shit. Yeah. So that's why you weren't as active, because you were taking time to spend with the wife and the kids and get back to trying to find some type of normalcy and not just put it all in your wife.
Yeah, 100%. Like I wasn't going to do that. And it's not fair to always just take, this is a selfish sport. And if you're not giving that back to your family and making sure that they're the priority, then I feel like it's always going to be contradicting. So yeah, I knew that I didn't want to sacrifice family to get to where I want to be. I want to bring them with me. And, when we had our second child, it was a lot easier because we had already gone through it. And you would know, having, children, that it's a lot, when you have your routine and there's, okay, I've gone through the worst. Like, the second one can't be as full on. You're just more ready for it. And, now where I'm at in my life, and where my family is, we're just in a great place. Everything's really, I love being a father. I love being a husband. It's what fulfills me. It's what fuels me. It's what gets me out of bed, even though, I don't want to get out of bed if I'm tired or, drained or all of that. You just put that to the side and be like, well, they're relying on me to make this work. And, that when I first started the sport, I had different motives. Now, have being a family man, that's my motive. That's my why. That's my purpose. So just gives me kind of clarity to go after it. And my sons are watching me, they're watching me do this. And, the other day at one of my Shark Tank workouts, I was hanging on a chin-up bar, like third round, building up to that 5-round title fight. Just putting in the volume now. I was on a chin-up bar holding it for 30 seconds, and I just see my boy at the bottom of me going, go dad, go dad. I'm like, shit, I can't drop now. But like, it just fuels me knowing that they're watching their dad do this now in the flesh, going after what he wants, and they're sponges soaking all that in. And the gym and CKB is such a family oriented gym where there's kids running around all the time. My oldest just started boxing. He loves it. He's got about 10 minutes of like focus, and then it's all gone. But for that 10 minutes, you can see like he's probably got mum's coordination and athleticism. It's not from my side. It's definitely from mum, where, he's really good at like holding his hands high, like defending, slipping punches. He just gets it. So it's cool seeing your kids, love what you do and they think it's fun. So then they just want to do it. And they know the difference between, hurting someone in a sport. They said, oh no, that's what daddy does. It's training. And on the playground at his kohanga, like really, really sensitive and really compassionate and looks after all the other babies and makes sure that, they're taken care of. So it's cool to see that side to him. But yeah, it's a big part of what we do, making sure that we're protectors, providers, and yeah, we figure this out.
Yeah. Now it gives more clarification of why it was so spotty in that time frame. Because I was sitting there and me and Michael were like, wow, he hasn't been as active, but now we have.
Well, I did get injured as well. Something I learned, like I got a stretch. I had a really bad back injury. I think it was more like sciatica. What was that in 2023, I think? Yeah. And it just was so bad that it just locked up. I couldn't walk for like 2-3 months. So
damn.
Yeah. I think there was just pressure of not sleeping and just not looking after my body enough. So I had to be a bit more just warming up, warming down, jumping in a sauna and an ice bath isn't stretching. That's just putting a patch on the problem, eh?
I fucking love it because I don't stretch.
Yeah.
I take one day a week to do sauna. I mean, I stretch before I do my jiu-jitsu training.
Yeah.
But I only train twice. It's like, but after I'm done training, I'm out. I'm tired of the 10 rounds. I don't want to fucking stretch. And I'll do ice and sauna to like reset my body. So when you said sauna ice, that shit ain't stretching. I'm like, the fuck it ain't. It helps it helps me get back to the gym on Monday morning.
Well, if it works for you, like I'm just from experience, it wasn't helping me.
Yeah.
It was actually making it worse. The ice was stiffening up my back more. And it was just, I didn't listen to the signs. The signs were there and I just pushed them to the side. Nah, I'll be fine. And then it humbled me. It humbled me really bad. And then I ended up I got through that injury and then I ended up getting a head knock in training, sparring too close. And that was when my second son was born. My second boy was born that same week. I should have been at the hospital. When your mind's just like somewhere else. And I was back and forth from the hospital training for a fight. I think I was supposed to fight Manel for that camp. And then, just wasn't focused on the task in front of me and it ended up getting caught with, I think, a kick or a punch or something. And then I sparred a few days later and that's when the head knock came on really bad. And I just felt like drunk. I felt like out of it, just not my normal self, nauseous. And that was for a few days. It wasn't just the day. So I knew I've got something here. I need to be patient. So I took 6 months off contact and it was the best decision. So it gave me time to like spend time with my family, let things settle. A lot of times, I guess, especially as men, we push away problems and we don't face them head on. And it allowed me to kind of just let things do what it needs to. And that's with injury, that's with family time. And it was actually a really nice time to not have to be anywhere and not put pressure on when I needed to get back into fighting. So yeah, and then at that time, I became a wrestling coach for a rugby team. So, like we talked about having pressure of having to fight because you need to provide.
Yeah.
I was just doing other things outside of fighting, putting my energy into that as well. So I became a wrestling coach for the New Zealand Warriors, which is a rugby league team. So I'm a part of their team. I've been a part of their team for 3 years now. So just help them.
Now, is that high school? Is that a high school professional? What level is this?
Yeah, professional. So this
how in the hell is somebody who's, what are you, 5'4", 5'5"?
5'5" on a good day.
5'5" on a good day. How the hell is a 141 pound 5'5" man going to be a fucking wrestling coach for a rugby team when these motherfuckers are monsters? How does that even work?
Well, the thing is, if I can get you down and hold you down, and you're 100 kgs, then like I'm doing something right. And it's like, shit, okay,
let's fucking go. Good for you, man.
Yeah, we need to buy into this because what he's doing is something that we need to be doing. If we're 100 kgs and we're doing what he's doing, man, this is going to be a game changer on the field. So it's been awesome, like just having them buy into martial arts for rugby, and it's just looking at, you know, the same thing with a different lens. So I'm not teaching them how to play rugby. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not an expert at rugby. I'm an expert at technique in this position, which is pretty much wrestling, but how to hold someone down, body weight to distribution to make yourself heavier than you are, but also just the mindset of not giving up. That's something I bring into. So it's more of like a leadership role, as well as I'm just another voice to motivate the players when, you know, the coach has been talking a lot and, okay, we need to bring an extra, just a tool to kind of get an edge from the team and from the players, just to bring in their best. So it's been awesome. Like this year we're second on the table. So we play mostly in Australia. We have like half and half games. Some in New Zealand at our home game at Mount Smart, just in Auckland. And then the rest, they're flying over to Oz most weekends and playing over there. So we've never won the comp before. We've been in the comp for 25 years. So I grew up watching this team. A lot of tears, a lot of heartaches, a lot of...
You're like, God damn it, just give me one conference, please.
Right. Well, that's like... I was at the grand final 2011 with my dad and my brother, and we didn't win, we lost. But like full circle, being a part of the club now, and like the coaches are the players that I used to watch. So it's like pretty cool just to be like, shit, like look how far I've come, but also like being in all these other spaces that I'm not usually in, like not in the martial arts community, being like, in this rugby community now where just of service to the team, seeing how we can do it better every year, and just that mutual respect from the players. And I'm still in my career, so like I just had their training yesterday. I had their last training with me. They're playing this weekend at home, and you know, even though I've got a big fight coming up, I knew like I want to be around them and feed off them. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, this man has got. Are you part-time, full-time, or are you what? I mean, I feel like you're a fucking rugby coach. You're like, all right, guys, you guys want to do rugby on 3, 1, 2, 3, rugby. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm gonna go to Vegas and fucking, you know, try to whoop on a boy, win this world title. I'll be like, I'm just like, you're a fucking rugby coach, man. Well, like I'm passionate about this team. Like I grew up with this team, and to be a part of them, it's like it's. People don't realize how like big this is, and like after my career, this is what I'll be doing, being a part of a rugby.
I was just gonna ask that.
Yeah,
I feel that's what you're gonna do after. I feel like you're getting a glimpse of like what your future is gonna be like. Where a lot of people who are in mixed martial arts at the highest level, about to fight for a world title.
Yeah.
You know, might say, oh, it's not okay for him to be thinking about this, but I think it's actually good because you're doing it for the love of the sport, right? You don't, in my opinion, people might say I shouldn't be saying this, but I don't think you need it, which is, I feel like makes you more dangerous because you enjoy it, right? Like, you know, if all ships fail, you're like, I have another love. Where a lot of people who fight in mixed martial arts are like, I fucking need this, right? You heard Sugar Sean O'Malley. He was like, I was so attached to the name Sugar. I was so attached to it, right? So I stopped jerking. I stopped smoking. I stopped doing all that stuff. He goes out, fights Marab, comes up short. Now he's back home. He's got his newborn child. And he goes, this makes a lot easier. But I feel like for you, you have something that's giving you life besides mixed martial arts. You've been you've been watching this team, you and your dad and your brother, and now you're a part of the team and you're helping them win. And it's this is why I like doing this show, because I would have fucking thought that you were part of a goddamn rugby team. You're a coach. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there, I'm like this. It's just crazy.
It's crazy. It's pretty cool. Like I do preseason with them as well. Like I'm on the field. There's no one else on the field but their players, and I'm on the field like trying to pass the rugby ball and like just show them that like I'll do what they do. So when we're on the mats, then when we're in my world, there's 100% commitment to it. But like you said before, I don't need this world title to validate who I am and my happiness. You know, I've never needed that. Having my family, that's, you know, seeing my wife, my 2 boys look at me like I'm already a world champion. That's what I invest my energy and my love into. we winning this world title, it means a lot to me, but it's not everything. And it's something I haven't ticked off. So that's definitely one of my big motivators. Is I started this promise to myself to be a world champion, and I want to keep that promise. But yeah, it's just enjoying the journey that comes in this with the fight game, the highs and the lows, and just going through it. I feel like that's one of my biggest strengths. I've felt it all, the good and the bad, the highs and the lows, the losses and the wins, and I've learned from it. And here I am, still fighting and figuring this thing out. But also, I'm very content with where I'm at, because there's so much more to what we're doing, and it's just about trying to enjoy the process rather than trying to get to the end line or the end result, and then everything's banked on that one moment or like that saying, what are they that I saw on Instagram recently, it's not the pursuit of happiness, it's the happiness of the pursuit. So enjoying that ride, and like fighting and being in the UFC fighter, it's my mahi, it's my job, it's what people know me for, but it's not my identity. It's not like everything that it's wrapped around. My identity is me being, a husband, a father, a brother, a son, and me being Māori. So, that's in my blood. My culture is my anchor. And it just, I don't have to put on an ego or put on a mask. And that brings me back to why I do that Pūkana. So Pūkana is a facial expression that sets the tone before we go into battle. So that's what my people, my tupuna would have done. And when I do the Pūkana, when I take my hand and I pull back my face and stick out my tongue, that's me revealing my pure form, where there's no ego. I'm not trying to, put on this act, put on this show. I'm revealing the purest form of myself. And that's me not putting on a mask, not putting on an ego, not putting on this false sense of entitlement, or projecting, who I want people to see me as. I'm just being myself, unapologetically and authentically Māori. And that's what I bring to the world stage. I'm not doing this because, I need to do this because that's who everyone knows me as. I'm doing this because it's me. This is what I don't know anyone else. I don't know how to be anyone else but myself. So yeah, that's why I feel like this fight's bigger than me. And you'll see this coming on Countdown fight week. We did a haka in the cage. The UFC have never seen that before. American fans have never seen this before. But I'm doing this because I want to showcase our culture and show you how unique this is, and allow, not just people from around the world, but my own people to know that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to, lean into your culture, because that's your fuel source. That's we call it your modi. That's your life source that you can feed off. So when you're walking out to your fight, well, for me, I know that I'm not alone. I have all my ancestors and my tupuna behind me. So when I'm in there, I'm not alone, and I can, I can use that and channel it, and go out there and bring this belt back to Aotearoa, New Zealand, back to CKB, back to the Warriors. It means so much more than just for me. It means hope. It means inspiration for the next, UFC fighter coming from Aotearoa, New Zealand, for the next, whatever you want to do. Like, I'm just showcasing that, and it's for my boys as well. They're looking at me knowing that if Dad can do it, why can't I?
Would you want your kids to fight? Would you would you want them to fight, or would you nah, what you guys do something else? Or if they want to do it, then you'll be behind them.
I want them to play like a sport that can actually make money, and like golf or tennis or something, bro.
You know what?
Bro.
My mom said the same thing. She goes, meaty. She called me meaty when I was a kid growing up, because I'll eat so much fucking meat and I wouldn't get, I'll still be bony. So she calls me meaty bone. She goes, meaty, why don't you play fucking baseball? They're so fucking rich. They, you just get out there, get your ass kicked and beat people up for pennies compared to the baseball players. So, hey, good for you, because I told my boys I don't want them to fight. I was like, you know, go to school, get education, and then now they're playing football. And I think my oldest Tyron, he is fascinated with the football players because they got the chains, they got the grills, they got fast cars, and they're athletic, they're buff. And I'm like, all right, well, at least, you know, if he can make it in football, at least he'll be making some good ass money instead of, you know, 14 and 14 and shit.
Even if he's on the bench, he's still cracked it. Like,
Exactly.
that's all we need. We don't need you to be a starter. You can just be a bench warmer. You're still on the team.
Yeah.
But same with me. Like,
true.
I want to teach my kids how to fight, but I don't want them to be fighters. Like, it's the lifestyle. It's hard, and like, it's not for everyone. Like, to get beaten up every day and keep turning up, like, there's got to be something wrong with you, and there's got to be like trauma or something that you're fighting, and we all have it. It's our way of, you know, this is how we express ourselves. But for my kids, I'd feel like I'd rather get them into everything and just let them figure it out. If he does want to fight, then I have to be in his corner. I have to, you know, be a part of that journey. But if I can, you know, help it,
persuade him otherwise, like, you don't need to do it. Don't do it, son. You don't need to do that.
Put this bat in your hand and, you know, get a good technique going, or even like
your
rugby.
Son, your son's all there. He's like, ha, ha. You're like, no, son, no. Yeah, there you go. That's what we want you to do.
Or the golf swing as well. Yeah, tennis.
Yeah. I
slowly
love
get that going. But yeah, if he does want to play rugby, like, it's such a big sport in our country. Like, I would definitely rather go on a rugby game than to like a baseball or cricket. Like, just like 6-7 hours on the sideline, and it's like, what are we watching?
And then you have to come back the next day if you don't fucking finish it. When I went to Australia, that was on TV. I watched, I don't know how much fucking cricket and rugby, and I love rugby. And I watch cricket, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'll, you know, get back in bed and turn on. And I was like, weren't these motherfuckers here yesterday? And my buddy goes, they have to come back and finish the game the next day. And I was like, wow, that's dedication. That is dedication.
And imagine a parent like doing that every day, every weekend. Just wasting your weekend sitting on the sideline. Nah, fuck that.
Oh God. Okay, we got big fight. I know I'm sure mom and the kids will be home soon, so we're gonna try to finish this up. Yeah. You got a big fight. It's coming up. You got to travel to Las Vegas against Alex Pantoja. Tell me about, like, how do you make the adjustments for the time zone change? Because that's something you have to do every single time when you fight. You're coming from New Zealand to Las Vegas. The climate's definitely different. The hot ass air. Yeah. How do you make that adjustments getting ready to fight in Las Vegas?
So it's fucking cold now in New Zealand. I don't know the degrees this morning, but I had like 5 layers on. Just wow. Yeah, just trying to get through training. So it'd definitely be a shock. I saw the weather in Vegas, and it's like 40 degrees or something, which is we're going to be sweating. But we get there on the Sunday, so we have our last Shark Tank that morning. So and then we fly out that night. I think I land at 9 a.m. on Sunday in Vegas. Just get into your normal routine. I won't go to sleep until that night. And then we'll train at night as well at the PI, just every day leading up to the fight. Just getting my body clock adjusted to moving at that time. So, like we've done it so many times now. I've fought in Vegas, 7-8 times. That's why I've, fought Cody. So I've done it all before. So we have a routine. We have a set trainings. I have most of my normal setup there. My nutritionist Geordie, the fight dietitian, he'll be flying with me. My family will get in midweek. So yeah, like it's comfortable. Like I've fought there so many times now that I have everything that I need. So yeah, leading up to for this fight, I'm in like really good weight right now. I've only have like a few kgs to cut to flyweight. So it's been a great camp. Like I'm not going to say that I'm not bringing in my best, because I feel like this camp I've ticked everything off. And game plan wise, we're ready for Pantoja. We're ready for the violence and the fight that he brings. I want to bring the fight to him. And I want to test myself. I'm not scared to go into the ground with this guy. Like, he can try get me down. He can try like get on my back and try choke me out. Like many people have tried, and I'll find a way and I'll find an answer to get out. But yeah, on the feet, just really comfortable to wherever the fight goes, get back to my feet, be patient, find my shots, and just not be overwhelmed. I feel like that's what the difference in that Kai Asakura fight was. It's different in the UFC. Like you can fight all around the world, but fighting your first time for the belt in the UFC, like it's a lot. And if you're not ready for it, you're going to be overwhelmed. You can think you're ready for it, but until you're in there and feel that pressure, it will show. So, you know, having already fought for the world title against Moreno, obviously not going my way, but being able to like go through that and harness that experience for this time, I can use that to help me. I'm ready for this, like physically, mentally, and spiritually, just ready to take this guy on and take him out. I want to be the first guy to finish Pantoja in the UFC, and I've got the skill sets, and I've got it all to get that done.
I can't wait. You said one thing that I haven't heard anybody say it before they come into a fight is be prepared to be overwhelmed. Right? Like I think that's one thing that Pantoja does very well is he overwhelms. It's something I do too when I fight. I overwhelm my opponents. I'm always takedown. Oh, he's defending. Oh, go underneath. Oh, do this. And I feel that's what he does very well. He overwhelms people. Or who just fought Merab versus Sean? Like, do people having the mindset like I'm physically and I'm mentally ready to be overwhelmed and I'm going to take the fight to him? So I'm excited to see how this fight goes because, you know, obviously anything can happen. It's a fight, but we know where your strengths are and we know where Pantoja's strengths are. Who's going to be able to execute it? And that's what gets me excited about this fight with you versus Pantoja. And then obviously the other flyweights are coming up. You have another matchup on the card, Vaughn taking on Brandon Royval. I mean, I think it's a good time to be a fan of the flyweight division because they got guys like you. My old, ass is out of there. Everybody said I was boring. Now they can watch you knock people out. Don't blink because that's what Kai's going to try to do as he takes on Alex Pantoja in Las Vegas. I'm super excited for it, man.
Well, you paved the way, bro. Like, I got to give you your flowers to know that, like, this is everything that you've done for the division, done for the sport. And you can sit back and eat your popcorn and just enjoy the just enjoy the show. You don't have to worry about getting calf kicked and getting angry. Leave it to us.
Fuck. Dude, like I tell you, man, I'm so chill. My wife never sees me mad, but calf kick and there's something else that pisses me off. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want people to try to do it to me. It's like the last time somebody did it, I was like, let's go, motherfucker. It's game time. Let's you want to fucking play this game? We're gonna play this fucking game.
I'm fucking 38, bro. I don't need this shit in my life.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I was like, what are you fucking doing, man? He goes, I'm sorry. And I'm like, fucking, I'm over it. Before I let you go, I gotta let my man Michael get in here. Michael, what you got for Kai before the kids and the wife come home?
So what I wanted to ask, you got a banger main event, that your co-main event. And I want to say, I'm hoping you're getting, you don't have to tell us, but I hope you're getting pay-per-view points because this is a banger main event. Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira. What are your thoughts on that matchup and what's your prediction?
I love Charles. He's the man. I've met him a few times and he's just like the people's champ. His story and like his journey that he's had in the UFC, it's just like, that's what I love about the sport. You can't count anyone out. And even, his rough start in the UFC or where he was at, and then to go on this massive win streak, win the belt, defend it, like, how can you not love him? And like, just meeting him in person, he's just such a relatable person. Like, he's just a fan favorite. Like, I've done a few guest fighters with him, a guest appearance with him on Fight Week. And just really liked him, gravitated towards him, just not just a fighter, but just as a normal guy. Loved his energy. But, Ilia is one of the best guys in the UFC right now. His skill set is he's so good at what he does, and like what we talked about, being really selective of his shots and really precise. He's one of the best to do it. Like, to take out Max, to finish Max, like, no one does that. To finish Volk, one of my teammates, like this is like one in a lifetime kind of athlete. So yeah, it's a unique matchup because on the ground, Oliveira is so dangerous, and he doesn't mind getting taken down or giving up the takedown to get to his back, but also his hands what's it called? They're not as respected as they should be because he is dangerous on his feet. Like he's got great Muay Thai and he's finished fights standing. So he just don't know what to expect. I don't know if Elias thinks he's going to walk through Oliveira. He might, but you just never know. He might, get caught on the way in thinking overly confident, okay, I can take this guy out, and then end up on the ground, half rocked, and, Oliveira jumps on his neck and it's a wrap. So I'm intrigued about this matchup. It's a great main event. People are going to be tuning in, but the best thing about it is they're going to more eyes so I can steal the spotlight. When I knock out Pantoja, the first one to do it in the UFC, and win this bout, more people are going to be or know who I am and jump on board and be like, shit, that he's the face of the flyweight division, this is the guy that we want to be as a champ, a finisher, a guy that goes for the knockouts. But yeah, everyone back home where in New Zealand's going to be watching this, tuning in. I'm going to feel all that support from back home and channel that and use it to help me bring in my best. So I'm ready for it. When I make that walkout, just know that's one of your own that is representing. And I can't wait to do it.
I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it. Now, Kai, I appreciate you giving us all your time. This is your opportunity to let people know how they can support you. Drop your social, Instagram, Twitter. The floor is yours, brother.
I appreciate it, bro. People that want to follow me, Kai Kara France on Instagram. I've got my new merch dropping, I think this Sunday, the day that I leave. My own clothing brand coming out, KKF, my initials with my friend's brand, it's a really popular brand in New Zealand. So we've got official merch coming out this weekend. So have a look out on for that. You'll get it before the fight. Obviously, got my Engage sponsor as well. We do supporter tees for me if you like them. And then, some exciting things coming up. I've got some cool content coming up for Fight Week as well. So, jump on board, enjoy the ride, and let's get it done. And you.
What about the rugby team? I want to know about the rugby team, goddammit.
Yeah. The Warriors, up the Waz is what we call it. Can we get a up the Waz? You said it?
Up the Waz!
That's going to get clickbaited and you're going to be famous in New Zealand now just for that. It's such a famous saying that you've already won New Zealand over just by saying that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, man, Kai, I appreciate you.
I was going to say, but before you go, can we get it good? You called it Pūkana, right?
Yeah, Pūkana.
And then DJ, you got to do it too, his taunt.
Okay, channel it. Pretend like you're about to stare off in the face-off. At the weigh-ins, looking at your opponent, you want to, let them know what's about to come fight night. I'll count you in. Tahi rua toru wha Pūkana.
You got me sweating, man. That stinks. Got me sweating already. God damn.
Fire it up.
My man.
Let's go.
Kai. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Boys, if you guys enjoyed this episode of the Mighty Cast, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, hit the bell to go live. And make sure you guys check out my man, Kai France. Don't blink. He's got merch dropping. We'll try to get that leave in the description below. I'm your host, Demetrious Johnson. Our right-hand man, Michael Wansover. And our guest, Kai France. Make sure you guys check out his fight at UFC 317 as he takes on Alex Pantoja. We will see you guys in the next episode of the Mighty Cast. What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the Mighty Recap. And this is part of the episode where we recap everything we just went through with our guest, which is Kai France. Don't blink. And the thing that stands out the most to me that I love is that he has another passion that I feel speaks more to him than mixed martial arts, which is him being part of a rugby team that him and his family grew up watching, and for him to be able to be part of that team, help them learn how to tackle or be better about holding down their opponents in rugby. If you guys don't know what rugby is, it's basically their version of American football. When it's constantly going, constantly action, when they tackle the person with the football, you hold it down, you have to pass it laterally, you have to pass it behind, and you only can throw it laterally, you can't throw it forward. So for him, and talk to him about that and hear the passion in his voice and how much he loves it, it fulfills me knowing that he knows what he wants to do after he's done fighting, right? It's mixed martial arts isn't his saving grace. It's not his identity, where almost when I fought, it wasn't the only thing I loved, right? I love gaming. I still game to this fucking day. I love being creative and creating content. That's why I'm doing the YouTube now. But that was probably my favorite part of the episode, is talking to him about his passion for rugby. And then to hear his upbringing, his dad's a lawyer, his brother's a lawyer. Nobody in his family does martial arts. And then he just packs it up after he graduates from high school. And instead of going to the university, he heads to Thailand, spends 4 years out there, travels around, does it on his own, doesn't have a coach. And then eventually he finds, Izzy and Eugene at City Kickboxing. He knew Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker, he didn't want to work a sales job. He wanted to punch people in the face. And so he was like, I'm going to fucking do that instead, where he actually left to Thailand. And then him getting Ultimate Fighter, coming up short, and then going to Ryzen, putting together a 4-fight win streak. He had ups and downs, and then eventually got his opportunity to get back into the UFC, and now he's been there for 6 years. Just what a full circle of him being part of the Ultimate Fighter. That's the first time I met him. Tell everybody I was on that fucking box to make me look taller. But what a great chat. And now he's taking on Pantoja. The thing I hate about, I don't hate about doing it, but I was in the shower and I was thinking, and I want to let the chat know, and the viewers, when I make a pick, it is unemotional, it's unbiased. The only person I'm very biased with is pretty much Izzy Adesanya, right? If Izzy's gonna fight King Kong, I'm gonna say Izzy's gonna win. Okay, I'm just a fanboy. When I look at this fight between Alex Pantoja and Kai France, I did my final predictions. You guys gotta come back and listen to that. But when I make these predictions, I sit down and I look at both athletes and I see what they do best. We know Pantoja, he is an absolute monster. He likes to overwhelm his opponents with barrages of strikes, relentless takedowns, and he's always looking for the back to lock the body triangle and looking to submit him, right? And Pantoja is not afraid to stand on the feet. You look at Kai France. Kai France loves to knock people out. He's not scared to get taken down, but he has great takedown defense, but he wants to keep it on the feet. Now, I have to make the best educated guess of who I think is going to win. I'm not in Pantoja's camp. I'm not in Kai France camp. That's all I have to do. I don't pick favorites when it comes to this game. So when I make my decision, whether I have him on the Mighty Cast or not, that's why I make my decision. It's unbiased, unemotional, educated guess. So, Michael, what do you have for us?
I think with you saying all that, we kind of have an idea of who you might be picking, but you guys could tune into that final predictions later this week. But no, what I found interesting is looking at that Ultimate Fighter, which he debuted. There's a lot of history of it. First of all, the concept of it was so stupid, with the winner facing you was just a horrible concept. But I will say it aged pretty well when you pull up that bracket. So we're talking about 2016. This was the Ultimate Fighter 24 season. It aged really well in the sense that you had Pantoja versus Brandon Moreno first round.
Yep. You
had Kai France go against Alexandre Pantoja in the quarterfinals, and then Pantoja lost in the semifinals, which it's kind of crazy to think we were 2 fights away from getting a really young Pantoja versus Demetrious Johnson. But I just think it's funny that they did go against each other technically, but it was a 2-round fight, so it's an exhibition. It was in 2016. I mean, there's not much you're gonna. You could watch the footage of it if you want, but you're not going to get anything for this fight.
Yeah, and I think when you look at both of the athletes, obviously Alex Pantoja has been way more active because he's been fighting a lot more often. I mean, when you said that he fought Brandon Moreno, those guys fucking have been fight. How many times have they fought already in the UFC for the belt? I feel like they fought three times already.
Yeah. So they did. I was right. They've only fought once for the belt, 3 times, including the Ultimate Fighter. So, and yeah, so one time for the title.
You know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Brandon Moreno versus Figgy. They fought a lot.
Oh no, yeah. Oh, that was four times, right?
4 times, yeah.
So, 4 times, yep.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that, but you look at that though. Look how those guys are still around from that Ultimate Fighter in 2016. Brandon Moreno still around. Alex Pantoja is still around. I believe Tim Elliott is still around. You also have Kai France who's still around. So a lot of those guys from that show are still in the UFC. So it just shows you how...
Yeah, and just so people know what I'm referencing, if they don't know what I meant by that, the idea of the show was, here are these champions from
different
of these different regions. We're going to have them do a bracket to go against Demetrious Johnson, which is crazy. So these were guys who were not signed to the UFC. Imagine if they did that today. I mean, that's pretty wild. I know you didn't you find out about it when you were like streaming or something?
Yeah, I was streaming on Twitch, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it just because it kind of watered down being the number 1 contender inside of the division. Like, I think Joseph at the time, I think I already knocked him out the second time, but you had guys like John Dotson who was doing well. Henry Cejudo, I don't know if I fought him yet or not. So I think for them, they were just looking for a concept to be able to build a division and build me up, like how good I was. And obviously if they would have told me prior to me finding out, I could have done a better job about promoting it instead of shitting on it like you just did. I just give my honest opinion, but I think they would do something like that in today's market because they brought in Kai Asakura, who was a champion, and they gave him a title shot when Manel Kape knocked out Kai Asakura. Like, that's a thing. Like, a lot of people don't focus on anything outside of the UFC. Like, it's almost like you look at the UFC and everybody thinks that's all. That's the only thing out there. But there's so many fighters out there. I mean, you look at Randy DeRitter. He came from 1 championship and he was a 2-divisional champion. 2-divisional champion. And he comes to the UFC and he fights guys and he's beating everybody. And it was like, God, how's this guy so good? He was a 2-divisional champion at a very dangerous organization. Like, you look at Kai Asakura. Kai Asakura was at Ryzen. He was fucking starching people. He starched Kyoji Horiguchi. You look at Patchy Mix. He didn't have the best showing, when he stepped in the UFC debut, but he was starching, finishing people in Bellator. Right. And so, you have Aaron Pico, who's about to make his, debut in the UFC. We'll see how he does. You had Pitbull make his UFC debut. He didn't do very well, but I feel like we also got an older version of the Pitbull. He's been fucking fighting since Scott Coker before Bellator. He was fighting at fucking Bellator before Bellator was a big thing. But get it back on point. You look at the guys who were part of that season Ultimate Fighter, and they're still in the UFC, which means these guys are veterans. They're the best of the best when it comes to the flyweight division. And when he takes on Alex Pantoja, don't blink going to put out Pantoja's lights, or will Pantoja reign supreme and continue his dominance as the new king of the flyweight division?
Yep, and we, of course, have International Fight Week. The main event is, we're going to have a full breakdown, of course, in the final predictions, but we have Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira in the main event, Alexandre Pantoja, Kai Kara-France in the co-main, then Brandon Royval, Joshua Van. That is just a banger.
Yep.
Banger fight. So this is a huge night for flyweights. I figure the winner of that fight's going to get.
I think
this is like one of those old school, how we used to talk about that they don't do it anymore, where you have the number 1 contender fight on the same card as the title fight. So it'd be pretty fast for Joshua Van, but if he beats Brandon Royval, who's the number 1 contender, there's kind of no denying it. So, also our boy Money Moicano versus Beneil Dariush. This is a deep card. A lot. You're not going to get me shitting on this card. You're not going to get MMA Guru shitting on this card. We got it. And to remind everyone, next episode of the Mighty Guru is going to be next Monday after the pay-per-view. So keep an eye for that. I can't wait for that next episode. First one people loved the second one. I feel like it's going to be even better.
Yeah, banger. I love always collaborating with Guru because he always gives a different opinion. And I feel he's more knowledgeable than me because he watches all the fights. This is his love. It's mixed martial arts. It's the UFC. It's the combat space. Where for me, I'm very passionate about the art. You know, I train for I'm still training. I'm 20 years deep in training, but I don't have the passion to watch every single fucking fight on the card and break down every single fucking fight on the card or every card that comes on. He's truly passionate. And I think us vibing out together, the fans have been asking for it each time we do a Mighty Cast prior to us doing the Mighty Guru show. The numbers have done great and people have always wanted it. So boys, if you guys enjoyed this episode of the Mighty Cast, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, hit the bell to go live. We will be posting content and we're going to be doing a live instant reaction this week. So, boys, make sure you guys come back. I'm your host, Demetrious Johnson. My right-hand man, Michael Wansover. We will see you guys in the next episode of the Mighty Cast. Hey!